Hello, welcome to the morning show with Sybil and Mac.
Maria McRae was placed in care as a child in the UK. She tried for years to find her Irish birth mother Linda, but was told by care workers that the then Eastern Health Board had no trace of her. But when her mother died, she received a call to notify her of the funeral. She'll be telling us about her battle to find and meet her family here in Ireland.
Now, summer is the ideal time to get those gardening gloves out and reacquaint yourself with your garden. Find out how Sybil got on when she got a crash course in compost.
And with only 5 days left to vote, we'll be speaking to some more of our lucky Glee Club finalists. But first, we continue to look at the plight of children affected by the care system in this country. Maria McRae was born in Dublin in 1986 and moved with her father Donald to Carlisle in the UK. Her mother, Linda Lamb, followed them, and her sister was born there a year later.
A few years later, her mother, who had intellectual difficulties and was pregnant again, left her family and returned to Dublin. Maria never saw her mother alive again. Now she says she has to battle the HSE just to get 2 hours of access a month to see her brothers and sisters. This is her story.
Well, I was born in Dublin and I lived with my mum and dad in the flats. And then my dad took me back across, and I think I'd be about 1.5. My mum came back across pregnant with my sister, and then my sister was born, and then she fell pregnant again with my brother, and she came back to Dublin, so I would have probably been about 2.5, 3 when she came back. Well, things kind of broke down with my dad, and myself and my sister went into foster care. After that, I never seen my mum until the day of her funeral. I'd have like regular reviews growing up, and I'd always ask like, where's my mum? I'd like to see my mum. Where's my brothers and sisters? And it just came back like constantly like, oh, we don't know where she is and things like that. I was always being told growing up like, we can't get a location on your mum, and that was my mum's social worker. She told me about 2 brothers and sisters that I didn't even know existed, so that was quite a shock as well. And like I said, well, like, would I be able to like, where is my mum and everything else? And I got the same answer again, well, it'd be too difficult to get a location on her, blah, blah, blah. About a year later, I rang her back, but she was out of the office. And when she eventually got back to me, she said, your mum's actually died, and you can come across for a funeral. And like, that was like it was awful, because it's like your whole chance gone. Just like when I've been growing up saying I want to see my mum and she's told me I couldn't, and then she said, well, now you can come across for a funeral. Appalled, annoyed, angry, but like upset. Like, it's like you can't ever get that time back. Like, that's like my mum, like, and I'm never going to meet her except, well, on her funeral day.
Very complex story and a very sad story indeed, and we're delighted that Maria McRae, you've made the journey from Carlisle to join us today, and thank you for coming in to the morning show. Maria, why did the family move to Carlisle in the first place? Is that where Dad is from?
Yeah, my dad was originally from Carlisle.
And he met your mum here in Ireland?
Yeah, that's right.
And we've got the bones of the story there, that your dad and you went to Carlisle, your mum followed then. Your sister Sammy was born, and then a couple of years later your mum moved away. Now you're about 2.5. Do you have any memories of your family unit being together?
I think I do, because I can explain to my dad like what the house looked like, and sometimes I think I do have a few vague memories, but not really anything solid.
Are they things that you kind of cling to?
Probably, because it's all I have. Yeah.
Your mum was pregnant with your brother Joe when she moved back to Ireland. You stayed in England, but you were then placed in foster care. Your dad wasn't really able to cope with looking after yourself and your sister.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And you spent then the rest of your life really up to now in foster care in England?
Yeah, up until the age of 17. Yeah.
Tell me, did they manage to keep you and Sammy together during those foster years?
Yeah, we were never split up. We were together the whole time.
Did you get to see much of your dad during those years? He just couldn't cope. He more or less had a breakdown and couldn't cope. But did you get to see a lot of him?
Yeah, I had regular accesses, so I'd see my nana and my dad once every 2 weeks, and sometimes maybe a bit more in between as well.
And was that in their house, or was it in an appointed place?
It used to be in an appointed place, and we didn't like it as kids growing up because it was just in a room and a couple of chairs and a couple of toys, and we didn't really get much out of it. So then it went into my nana's house, or we'd go to the park or something like that, and it was much better.
Do you remember how old you were when you first started asking questions? You know, why amn't I with Mum? You know, why is Mum over in Ireland? You know, is something wrong with Mum?
I think I've always asked them from the word go, because I've obviously always seen my nana and dad as well, so they talk about her to me. And I've always had that, nobody's ever kept it from me, so I've always had that understanding that I have another mum and other brothers and sisters. Yeah.
Okay, but little girls need their mums, and you literally grew up without yours.
Yeah, that's
Were
right.
you aware that she had learning difficulties?
I was aware always that she had a learning disability, but I mean, she was my mum. Didn't bother me what she had.
You wanted her to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know growing up that she then went on to have, what was it, 6 more children here in Ireland?
Yeah, there was 9 of us altogether. Yeah, I knew about, I think, my other 2 brothers and 1 sister, and I wasn't aware of that I had another 2 younger brothers and sisters. Yeah, nobody informed me. So, yeah.
But from nowhere then, at the age of 10, a card arrived.
Yeah.
And what was on? What did that card say?
Yeah, on the front of it there was some kites on it, and then when I opened it up, it said, "Hi, Marianne and Sammy. Are you having a nice time? Lots of love, Mammy." And then it had like my brothers and sisters' names down it. And like, I think I was over the moon that I had something off her. And then I was thinking, well, how have I got this card off her? And I also got some pictures with it as well, when everyone keeps telling me I can't see her, they don't know where she is.
Did that give you hope, or did that make you angry when you got that card?
I think it didn't really make me angry, because I was as a child. It's like, it kind of gave me hope that, oh, she might come back and I might get to see her and things like that. But yeah.
But there are feelings
maybe a
that
little bit more frustrated as well, because I understood, well, how comes you can give me this but I can't see her?
Meanwhile, you were asking the social workers all the time, can I meet her, can I meet her? And what were they saying to you?
Basically that they didn't know where she was, that they couldn't get a location on her, and that was all that I was ever told growing up.
With that letter, because it's very, very precious to you, because you can remember it verbatim, off the top of your head, without having to look at it again. So it meant an awful lot.
Yeah.
So that was the start of your search. So was it at age 17, age 18 when you really started trying to find her? Yeah,
the card came with like a letter, and you had an address on and the social worker's name on it. So when I was about 17 or 18, I rang round, I think for a day, round everywhere in Dublin, asking for the named social worker on the letter. And when I eventually got her, I was quite shocked myself as well. And then I was further shocked that she knew so much about me and my sister, when I was always told they didn't have a clue, like, about anything to do with my family. So, and then she told me that I had a further 2 brothers and sisters that I wasn't aware of, which was like, came as another big shock, because I was like, no one's told me. And then it was like hard as well, because she was able to tell me some things about my mum, and when you've been searching all that time, it's like, I don't know how to explain it really. It's like when you've wanted anything, like a little bit of information, and then you get given lots.
Tons of it.
Yeah.
Your mother had a very hard life.